Hello there, welcome back here on Prime Morning. And if you just joined us here on the show, I'd like to say a big thank you to you for making time and spending time with us here. It's quality time we spend every single day from Monday to Friday. We're excited that you're always on the other side. If you're wondering how you can join in the conversation, we're streaming live on Facebook. It's Joy Prime TV. On Instagram and Twitter, you can find us with the hashtag is Prime Morning. Share your thoughts with us here on the show. And time for us to get into BTH, which is beyond the headlines, and we're looking at a very, very, very important issue. Now, a lot of us use the roads. Many people have been on the roads and for no fault of theirs have been involved in certain accidents that they were not supposed to have been involved in the first place due to one or two things that could have been, done to avoid these road accidents. Now, road accidents have been very, very major. When you check the statistics, you know that a lot of things have happened between the last 10 years when it comes to road accidents. Now, the question we're asking is, what exactly is the problem? Now, if you're a driver, do you believe in education for drivers in terms of knowing what exactly you're supposed to do when you're on the roads? Road safety has always been a major and important discussion in this country. But today, we want to take a look at what the contributing factor has always been. But our attention will be on drivers' education and what we can do to make sure that we curb road accidents on our roads. Now, before we get into that, let's check this one out. When I come back, I'll introduce to you my guest in the studio. And, we definitely get into that conversation here on the show. Stay with us. All right, so those are some images, and as you can see over there, many people have been victims of road accidents that were no fault of theirs. Driver education, is it even important? What are you supposed to do when you're on the roads? The signs and all the things that you're supposed to actually adhere to, are we adhering to them? We're going to take a look at this conversation here on this very show. The person in the studio to help me discuss this is Ali Wahab. He is the chairman, Driving Schools Association, Ghana. And we're looking at the importance of driver education and curbing the road accidents on our roads today. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. And yourself?
I'm good. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great. How is the association doing, by the way?
Association is doing very well, and we are doing everything possible to make the road safe for all road users.
If you look at over the period, some of the lives that we have lost through road accidents, some people would say that, oh, maybe the driver was drunk, the driver was sleeping, and all of that. In educating the drivers, are some of these things part of what the driver is supposed to know? Okay, apart from knowing the road signs, apart from knowing that you're supposed to take your left, you're supposed to do this. If you see an oncoming car, this is what you're supposed to do. Apart from all of that, are we contributing some of these factors to the things that I've mentioned right now?
Yes, we are. Thank you so much. And I want to say good morning to your cherished viewers. To members of Ghana National Association of Driving School across the length and breadth of this country. They are doing marvelous work. And especially to my regional members. I am the regional chairman of Ghana National Association of Driving School, Greater Accra.
Great.
Okay, so back to your question about what we do, okay? Let me give you a brief history about the association, okay? The association is made of proprietors, owners of driving schools, certified and approved by DVLA to operate. And we are operating by law, LI 2180, which mandates every driving school to impart knowledge, skills into the would-be applicant.
Okay.
When you go to the driving school, okay, what basically we look out for is the person being mentally, emotionally, and physically fit to be able to drive. And we don't only take money and then put people on the road, but we sit them in the classroom for a period of 2 weeks to inculcate knowledge and skill into them. Bringing about the, if I go into the military realm, taking away the civilian out of the would-be driver, okay, and making sure that he's fit to be able to drive. One, if the person is not fit to take care of his own life, how do you put that person to cater for another person's life? So when it comes that way, there are a lot of students that, for no fault of them, want to learn how to drive. But we say driving is never a right, it's a privilege. It's a privilege because it's not all of us that are born to drive for one reason or the other. And for that reason, we educate them. Not only that, we inculcate into them skill of driving and also a little mechanical principles about how the vehicle operates.
Okay, so let's look at it from where you stand. You take 2 weeks to make sure somebody gets on the road. Is 2 weeks adequate to make sure that everything the person has to know about being on the road?
2 weeks is enough adequate because we are not only preparing you mentally and physically for the road, but also making sure that you understand that your presence on the road should not be a danger to yourself and to other road users. Are you getting it? Because the car cannot be on the road by itself. It's being driven by a driver. So if the driver is not fit to be on the road, his presence on the road is not only a danger to himself, but to other road users. So this is what we tell them. And 2 weeks, we are running from Monday to Friday, 2 weeks to make sure that the person...
Very intensive.
Very intensive, 2 hours each day in the classroom. Making sure that he understands what lies ahead of him before he gets on the road.
What qualifies a certain school to, or a certain driving school to be part of the association or to even operate in the first place? What are some of the things that you look at? I mean, in terms of the kind of vehicle they are even using, the kind of classroom they... Which are some of these things that you take a look at before you pass out any school like that?
In the near future, we have things in place, and we are also going to publish the names of good driving schools in the dailies. If you want to send your ward, your child, anybody to the driving school, make sure you go through this list. And before somebody joins the association, first he's being certified by DVLA. DVLA has to inspect the classroom, the cars, and then certify instructors to be able to teach. And when you come to join the association, we also do a follow-up by visiting the school and looking at the logistics, making sure that they are in good working condition before we give you the go-ahead. And right after that, it means that the person is okay to be on the road from whatever school that is the person is coming from. Now, when somebody is a practicing driver on the road, sometimes you feel like some of these people put themselves at risk a lot because the person is still in the learning process. Whoever that's in there is coming from the school and is helping the person be on the road. What are some of the things that you take into consideration, or the association take into consideration, especially when you have a practicing driver on the road? For an outsider like you, you see it to be very dangerous, and in every field, that is how it is. When you start from the 2 weeks classroom, we don't first put you on the road. We take you to a Virgin Island. Okay, sometimes on the football field, or where you allow the person to have a feel of the car and also understand the gadget he or she is going to use. You understand? So we do that for also about a week or more than a week, depending on the individual. Then gradually we introduce you onto the road. The cars that we use, all driving schools, are equipped with dual pedals. So we know the work. So the danger is minimized because the instructor you see in the car can stop the car, can do the car, anything, even without.
And you're talking about every driving school.
Every driver, once the school is approved, the car should be equipped with dual paddles.
Are there schools that are not part of you, or not even having all these things you're mentioning, and they are operating in the system? If there are, what are some of the things that the association is doing to curb some of these people that are getting into the system with that?
Once it's a human institution, there are bad nuts, but the association is doing all it can in its powers to make sure that before you operate as a driving school, you should be approved and licensed to do that. Reason being, it's about lives, as I said, and the association is making sure that once you come under its folds, you meet the requirement. Those who are not registered, we are taking steps in collaboration with the MTTD to clamp on them. And we are making sure that if you are not operating in the right frames, we won't let you work. No. So the association is doing a lot of work behind the scene.
Okay, I see. If you just joined us here on the show, this is Beyond the Headlines. We're looking at the driving schools and what they're doing to actually curb road accidents. And if you just joined us here on the show, we've been playing some videos. Please, the graphics in there are very, very, I won't say they're bad for you to see, but if you're watching and you're the kind of person that does not really like to see things like that, you want to be very, very careful before you watch. And these are very, very disturbing pictures, so you want to be very careful if you are not comfortable, watching them. So please, viewer discretion on that one. But we're looking at it. You may have been involved in accidents, and sometimes you think about it and you know that the driver was at fault. He didn't read a certain sign and all of that. And sometimes when you complain, these drivers tell you that, do you know how many years they've been driving? For the past 15 years or 20 years he's been driving, and so forget about the road sign over there. He knows all of that. Yet he's actually, crossing that lane that he's not supposed to cross. If you've got any experience like that, you can share that with us over here on the show as well. We're looking at the importance of education, or educating drivers in curbing road accidents. Now, a typical example is when you are in a bus or a trotro, and a certain driver is crossing lanes, not adhering to certain road traffic signs, and you tell the person, and the person tells you that he's got experience. He has so number of experience. He has this number of experience. Does experience actually play a major role if the person has not really got education, proper education on how to, use the road signs that are on the roads?
Experience is a factor, and knowledge is a major factor. Okay? Experience is a factor, but knowledge is a major factor. Because if you talk about experience, all of us has experience in wherever we find ourselves. But is the experience enough for you to protect lives? We are talking about lives when the driver is behind the wheels. We are talking about lives when that medical doctor is in the theater. My grandmom was a nurse for 45 years in a theater. She never had an opportunity to operate a patient. Why? Because she wasn't qualified to do that, regardless of her number of experience being in the theater. So no matter the experience you have as a driver, educating yourselves on road signs is also very important. Or going to the back to school. This is what most of the commercial drivers, some say, experience. But look, I mean, that's the only thing. I have 20 years, I have 10 years, I've been driving this car for a long time. You are not the one to teach me how to do go about 20 years ago, we never had N1. There was no N1. 20 years ago, from Kaneshu to Kaswa was a dual carriageway. One car is going to Kaswa, another car is coming. Are you getting it? 20, 25, 30 years ago, we were using this car called Arrow Glass. 20, 30 years ago, we were using Abion with a manpower steering. When the driver has to turn the steering, if you are not muscle enough, you can't. This time, do we still have those cars on the road? So can you tell me that that driver who used Arrow Glass for the past 15 years or 40 years to learn how to drive, if he's given a VIP bus, is he going to use that experience to drive that VIP bus?
No.
Definitely no.
Yeah.
Even the gadgets in the VIP bus is not what was in the RO class. So how is he even going to communicate with the instrument panel? Not talk about the road he was going to use. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So when we talk about experience, they should give us a break by bragging with experience being on the road. Look, the images you are showing,
Yeah.
don't say they are.
These are real incidents
They are real.
that have happened.
So
real,
show
real
it for viewers to see and understand what is happening on the road. And that is why we are here. And that is why we are telling the general public that educating the driver is a means of curbing what is happening on our roads. Okay?
Yeah.
Ask a commercial driver that when he sees a traffic light, what does the amber mean, the yellow one? And if I should ask any of you here, you are going to tell me is get ready. So are you getting ready to increase your speed, or are you getting ready to decrease your speed? What does it mean? Are you getting it?
Yeah.
And the one who taught that driver, because of his experience, his master made a mistake by telling him to what? Speed. Are you getting it? And he's using the same methodology in driving now. And then amber light means stop at the stop line. It doesn't mean increase your speed. When you were a case in school,
Yeah.
there was this kindergarten rhythm you used to. When you see a traffic light, there is something you should know. Red means yellow means what?
Get ready.
Get ready
means
to
go.
That is it. Are you getting it? And sometimes you see these same commercial drivers behind a car and it's green, but he's hooting at the driver to move. Meanwhile, the road is not clear for him to move.
That happens a lot.
And then when you ask him, yes, he say, hey, green, are you getting it? Green does not mean you should go, but it's telling you, make sure the road is what? Clear before you can move. All these things are not being taught by the commercial drivers. Just because it's on the road, how long will you put somebody in the car, instructing him how to drive, at the same time telling him that when traffic light, is the driver not losing concentration? So what do you expect him to do? So these things are taught in the classroom, making sure that the person understands all this before he puts the car on the road. It's not a matter of forcing the person to be. We are not doing mass production. No, that is not what the school and association is doing. We are making sure that we round that applicant through the process to make sure that he's fit to be on the road.
In terms of the teachings in the classrooms, if, for example, if I come and I can't speak English, and there's a local language that I can't speak, how do I become part of a class that is only teaching in English as someone who wants to drive?
That's another argument out there, okay? Even our regulators have deemed it necessary that education should not be a barrier for someone learning how to drive. So now the computer tests, they are putting some in the local languages, okay, 5 local languages, which is about to roll up. So it means that education is not a barrier to driver education.
A language?
Yes. Are you getting it? We make sure that any language that you deem necessary, understand to the best of your knowledge, we are going to take you.
Is this something that it's been practiced, that the association knows that there are schools, or the schools are all making sure that if I come and I can't speak English, I'm being taught in Chi or Ewe or in Ga or any language that I'm comfortable in? Is this something that the association know for a fact that is happening? Or it's something that, you know, the association believes that everybody is supposed to be doing, but it's not happening?
When there's a new policy, it's the association that gets wind of it and tell members how it goes, okay? So it's the association that is collaborating with the stakeholder, being the driver vehicle and licensing authority. And one of our major concerns is about illiterates on the road. And they have heard what we said, and they are bringing about these new policies to make sure that the local languages also become part of our teaching syllabus. So hopefully by the end of year, we are going to roll those things out.
Okay, so that's something that we're looking forward to. But if you just join us here on the show, Ali Wahab is my guest in the studio. He's the regional chairman for Driving Schools Association Ghana here in Greater Accra region, and he's spending time with us, explaining to us, some of the things that we need to know about the drivers' schools that are out there, and also the challenges that they face as well. But you can also join us in the conversation if you have had the chance of witnessing any driver drive anyhow, and he's not even able to apologize for that, recklessness on the road, and it's rather saying that he's got a level of experience that gives him the opportunity to be on the road. You can share that experience with us here on the show. The phone lines will be activated, so you can give us a call and let us know the significance of driving schools here in the country. In curbing road accident is the topic that we're discussing right now. So when you call us, make sure that your questions are around that subject. So will be able to answer the questions that we'll be asking him for you. If you also got plans of going to school or a driving school, you can ask him which of them are the qualified ones, or a few ones that he can recommend for you to also go. So you don't end up going to any school just like that because you want to drive, but he'll be able to tell you which of the schools or what to look out for in terms of getting to the driving schools to be sure that you are the right place. I mean, and I want to find out, if I want to drive right now and I want to go to a driving school, what am I supposed to be looking out for when I get to the school to ensure that that school is really under your watch?
Yes, one, the school must be registered, but for the association, we are now bringing about policies and logo given to all members that when you go to the school, make sure that you see A and B, and that means that school is what?
But has that not taken too long? I mean, the association has been there for a while now.
The association,
to make sure that
yes, we used to have one. Okay? We used to have one, but the association now is growing. Okay,
so some things are being
modified. Okay, making sure that all those things are in place, and then others cannot treat what we have for their advantage. So things are.
So how long is this going to take?
Well, roughly by the end of the year, we'll get them out, and I think by next year, quarterly, we are also going to give out the approved schools in the dailies, and then also with your media houses helping us bringing about to the approved schools. And wherever you are, you just look for them and their number, and then that's all. Okay.
Well, what has been the association's major challenge in ensuring that these schools are able to keep up with what your policies say, so we can stop, the unnecessary road accidents?
From the driving school point of view, the challenges are enough, especially when it comes to logistics. You and I now understand the economic crisis we are.
Okay, I'll make you answer that for me. Albert is on the line. Let me pick him and then I'll come back to you. Albert, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I hope you're good.
No, man.
Good to have you on the show. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Albert, lower the volume of your TV set, okay? It gives us feedback. Okay, please, when you call me, kindly make sure you lower the volume of your TV set. It gives feedback over here. It doesn't help the conversation. So please, just listen to the phone, the conversation on the phone, and lower the TV set. When you're done, you can increase the volume. Please do that for me. Yeah. So we're talking about the challenge before.
Okay, it's about logistics.
Yeah.
And a lot, but the major one is the logistics and getting cars. Okay, our appeal to the government is to make sure that some of these subsidized cars comes to our aid, so that we can be able to work and work well. Okay, and also the second one is about making sure we get a defined area
for the training sections.
For the training sections. Are you getting it? Accra now is choke. Getting about an acre of land for that.
Okay, give me a moment. Sorry. Zach is on the line. Zach.
Hello.
Zach, good morning.
Yeah, KMJ, please ask your guest to explain this thing to me. Most of the driving schools, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead. Okay. He's listening.
Most of the driving schools are training, small vehicles. I don't know what are they putting in place? Are there plans in place to train trailer drivers? Because if you go to most of the driving schools, they don't have trailers where they train. I just want to get a clarification.
Okay. Okay. So we'll take the next caller and then we'll answer that up later. Alex. Alex in Techiman. Alex.
Ajay in Techiman. Ajay.
Ajay in Techiman. Okay, Ajay, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much for the program.
Welcome.
In fact, I've been driving for a while and I've seen a lot of problems with drivers, both learned and the people we call illiterate and the rest. So using our local languages to train drivers is the best for us. Because if you look at this country, the English language is becoming something like an albatross on the neck of people. And if we use our local language to train, we understand the concept. The road signs, we explain them in English language. If you are going to write examination for license, you have to go and sit on the computer. Every question is asked in English language. So if the people don't understand, it makes it difficult for them to even grasp the rudiments of driving. And the practicality, the driving schools, if they are talking about doing something better, they should do it. Most of them, I have evidence to talk about the fact that most of them, they just pay the fees. Even the practical aspect of it is not seen properly. They don't actually see to the practicality of the lesson. They just collect their money. After a while, you can get your license and all that. Let's be real. Let's train the people. If you look at the drivers who are trained by the GPRTU, the stations and the rest, they are better than those who are trained with this driving school certificate. So please, they should be up and doing, and I commend them for the initiative they are taking, so that the nation will see drivers who are bold, drivers who are steady, drivers who calculate before they make maneuvers and all that. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for joining us here on the show today. And Ado is in Kwashiman. Ado.
Yes.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good to have you on the show. I'm fine. Please go ahead. Hello, Ado. Are you there? Okay, so we lost Ado over there. Maybe you can answer to the last question, and then we'll come back to the one who asked about the trailers. Yeah.
Okay. With the last one, okay, and as I said, there are bad nuts. But anytime you visit a driving school, it's a contract you are signing between yourself and the driving school to make sure that you are being trained and acquire your driver's license. We don't issue driver's license. Okay, driver's license is being issued by the Driver and Vehicle License Authority.
Yeah, the DVLA.
Our mandate is to train you. So if you pay a fee and you are not being trained and you go in for your license, mind you, you are only putting your life at risk. Because at the end of the day, it's not the license that is going to drive the car. It's you who is going to drive the car.
But it's the most reason why we're having very reckless people on the road as well. Because, for example, if someone like this pass out, and it means that he has passed out from a school that is under your association, and the person is on the road and is killing people out there, and we're tracing back to where the person schooled, and we found out that where the person schooled is under your watch, it means that it still comes back to you.
That is one.
So what are we going to do to make sure that people who even pass out from the school are actually seen in a certain way that makes you, even the association, believe that the right person is going on the road? That's a difficult one, I know, because how would you check each and every individual whether they paid the money and did the practicals or even the theory or not? But it's a big problem now.
It's a big problem.
People like that are
people are in that,
and they have the driver's license.
And at the end of the day, there is no data, there's no statistics showing that 100 drivers that had crash are from the driving school. Are you getting it? If that is there and we are being accused of not doing the right thing, we are ready to what? Amend our ways. Okay? And secondly, it's a competition outside there. GPRTU, as he's talking, they don't train drivers. It is an apprenticeship that the person goes to. Are you getting it? So if you are talking about training qualified and certified drivers, it's from the driving school. Okay, now there are bad journalism out there. Do we accuse Gene Institute of Journalism for producing those journalists?
Sometimes some of the blame goes to them. Because
some of the blame goes to them. From. That's where they are coming from. But you don't say that all of them are coming from GIG, because some also try as much as possible to follow some journalists out there. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So once the data is not there, we know and we accept that there is a challenge.
So is there a way that we can now put pressure on the schools to ensure that if A comes to say, I want to drive, and registered with your school that, oh, this is where I want to school and become a driver, you should make sure that whatever the person has to know, you are giving to the person and not making monies just because you want to make monies. I'll come back for you to answer that, but let me get on the phone line and speak to you. Francis, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm well, thanks for asking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for a good job you are doing for Mother Ghana.
Welcome.
And I think that you people are hitting the nail right on the head. Now, the schools paying school fees to the schools, applicant paying school fees to the schools without them being trained. My brother, you're sitting right there. If you are going to buy a product, you go and pay for the product and you are giving the wrong product, you accept it and go home. Should the driving school be blamed for that one? The fact is that association cannot do everything. That's why my friend right there saying that it's a human institution.
Yeah.
Now, if you go and you know that you want safety, that's why you want to go to driving school, and you go and pay the fee and you are not being trained, and you are only interested in your license, then maybe you are not helping yourself and you are not helping that. Now, the last speaker made mention, the one who spoke recently just made a mention of the DPRTU training better than driving schools. I think it's an unfortunate statement. The reason being, like you said, DPRTU doesn't train.
Yeah.
Now, this apprenticeship that they do, the question is, where is the master even being trained before he's also training? Driving schools are giving syllabus, and based on the syllabus, they are trained. Now, if you learn from the washing bay, and for that matter, you are driving trotro and you also want to train, you are going to impart that bad knowledge into the person, and it will continue like that. Now, there's a collaboration between GPRTU and the association that they want to association to feed them. So we give the basis, and the basis go to them, and they feed them, and they build on that experience, and we'll have better drivers in the system. So I think the association is doing very well. We must commend them. And the media too must help so that we can educate the people about the need for training and about the need of them going to the school so that they can learn very well and the road will be safe. Thank you very much.
Many thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate you. Cyril is on the line. Cyril.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and thank you for letting me join in the program.
Welcome.
Yeah. What I've observed is like the driving schools don't produce bad drivers, but most of our drivers in this country get their license through the officials that are working with the DVLA. They don't get the training. Like the other caller said, the driving school has a level that they go through or they go by. But people can jump or go by a driving school, get to the officials and get their license. They have no experience. They have absolutely no idea about road signs. People just start backing even down, look into their mirror. They have no idea. But they have their license. But they got their training through somewhere else. Excuse me, this is places like the washing bay or being a maid or something else. Or a friend training him. So they had their license through maybe the official, like I said, working with the DVLA and whatever. So most of these accidents are caused by these drivers that have no experience. They have never been through maybe the syllabus, being go in the schools to be trained to become a driver. So I would like to say finally that the driving school actually produced good drivers. I was part of one driving school in Ghana before even I traveled out of the country, and it helped me being trained in Ghana from a driving school that I was able to do whatever, join the driving school overseas, and everything went on smoothly. So it's not about the driving schools. It's about some of our officials that let people get driving license but not going to driving school. So if Mr. Wahab and then his group, or Mr. Wahab and his people will look into that. A lot of Borough boys at the DVL, they have connections and whatever. So people get licenses without training. Thank you and have a very wonderful day.
Many thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate you. And well, let me come back. So, we just land on the one that you were talking about before we went. The one that has to do, and then you answer the trailers one too as well.
Okay, with the trailers one, with the driving schools, we are mandated to train basics. Okay, and the basics is that of the saloon cars not exceeding 3,000 kilograms. Okay, so if you come, that is what we do. We are not to do upgrading unless the law is also, there is a portion for it, and when we get there, we'll still cross the bridge.
So if I want to drive a trailer, what do I do? I have to be on my own?
Even if you be on your own, the DVLA for now will not certify you because they are not in the position of issuing the license straight away. I think there are policies in place to do that, but for now, no.
Okay, so I think we've pretty much answered most of the questions that came through. But if there are other ones that you want to address,
okay, like both callers said, Francis and then Cyril.
Yeah.
You see, when it comes to education, no country can develop without education. Absolutely. Are you getting it? And now even it's free up to the senior high school level. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Why? Because the president deemed it necessary that education is the key. When you educate the driver, you are developing him and he's getting good. He's becoming independent. Okay, we are reducing poverty as well.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of we wasting time to go to the driving schools. It's rather an investment into that applicant. Okay, and the association is doing everything in its power to make sure that its members do the right thing. If you attend any driving school anywhere in this country that you have a challenge, just call the Ghana National Association of Driving School, the secretariat, and then your grievances, your problems will be addressed to you. Wherever you find yourself in this country, don't hesitate, and then they will address that challenge for you.
Okay, so let's see if we have our last caller. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Yeah, good morning. I'm Achilles from Upper West.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Achilles from Upper West.
Go ahead. We're listening, please.
Yeah, the issue on ground, I want to ask your guest.
Go ahead.
I want to ask your guest.
He's listening, yeah.
In this case, whereby the training school is supposed to train drivers, and you are looking at Ghana, for instance, most of our drivers are illiterate, if I repeat it, if I go to my ways. Some of them don't even know the road signs. All they will know is someone will even be at house, wherever they will go for the license for them. So in this case, how does the person know this sign means stop, this sign means this sign means do? So in this case, I will urge the DVLA with the monitoring team to come out to the GPLTU stations or roads to show drivers other signs. Some drivers are there on the seat just for nothing. Just because they have the license, they have been made for a while, so the master has to apply a license for the person. And this case, this is what is killing most of us. So if master will also put this into measures to help cut this down. Thank you.
All right, thank you for reaching us and sharing your thought with us here on the show. We appreciate it. So, yeah.
Okay, when it comes to the local languages, now general public should listen.
Okay.
We have Elve, Ga, Twi, Dagbani, Nzima, and Hausa.
For training.
For training. Are you getting it?
Which is happening now.
Which is, yes.
Okay.
About to take place now.
Oh, it's about to take place,
yes.
But it's not happening at the moment.
Now, yes.
Okay.
Okay. It's being delayed because DVLA is working on these languages for the testing.
Okay.
But when it comes to the training, the Ghana National Association of Driving School is ever ready to start the training, even if it's tomorrow. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
But after the training is the testing that is down the problem. So we are working hard with DVLA to make sure that once these things are approved, then the local languages will start. So language should not be a barrier for somebody trying to learn how to drive. By next year, God willing. Inshallah.
Okay, we have to wrap up, but what's the message you're sending out to the road drivers, those who are using the road, and then also the association where you belong to as well?
Okay, when it comes to the association, I say Ghana National Association of Driving School is there to help everybody in this country, making sure that driver education reaches every corner of this country. And then to our road users, road safety is a shared responsibility. If you are in the commercial vehicle and the driver is not driving well, try as much as possible to point it out to him so that your life will be saved.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ali Wahab is the regional chairman for the Ghana Drivers Association, and he's for Greater Accra region. So those of you out there, you can contact him. Is there a number they can call you on if they want to reach out to the association and speak to the association? So he's the man that you have to talk to. Please put the number there so that they can reach out to you.
0244-272085.
Okay. So those of you who want to ask more questions, you can call him and then ask more questions, and I'm sure you're definitely going to get answers to your questions. So we're still right here on Prime Morning. We've got some more coming up here on the show. We've got a celebration of life and legacy of Dad Lumba, whose birthday is today, and we'll be speaking about that as well here on the show. And also we've got the Jollof Rave also coming up, and we're going to be talking about that as well here on the show. Please stay on.